WellBeing Wednesday, I've got my very, very accomplished, she's an author, she's published, she's amazing. Petra Laranjo with me, speaker, coach, well-being strategist, and someone who is very, very good at turning big concepts into real life and going, you know what, I can actually do this. Hi.
Hello, Corey.
How are you?
Good by you.
Yeah, lekker. It's a very loaded week for some. For some week it's a really great time. For some people, not so much. But I feel like there is never just one time when it comes to self-love. It's and honoring your life. It's about doing what's good for you, and like nobody else matters during that time. When we talk about self-love, like feeling vague or like even cringy for so many people, why is it like that?
Sure. I think part of it is societal, how we were raised in terms of giving is better than receiving. So if I'm doing things for myself, it's seen as selfish, it's seen as self-indulgent.
We touched on this last week.
We did touch on this week. I love that we keep bringing these grades through. So I think part of it is what we have been conditioned to believe and think about nurturing ourselves, honoring ourselves, because if I'm doing that indirectly, it means that I'm not choosing you, that I'm not honoring you. So therefore I must be selfish, and we don't want to be perceived as selfish
because that's society.
It's society, and it's survival of the fittest. So I need to be adopted into society. And if I'm seen as an outsider because I'm focusing on myself, I'm probably going to be ostracized, which means I'm not going to fit in. I mean, this is, of course, very psychological.
100%. What changes from like when we shift from like I must love myself to how do I honor myself a little more?
Well, for me, where I started embracing honoring versus self-love, because love, when you're going through something traumatic, like a breakup or, whatever that looks like for an individual, which is usually associated with love. So if I'm giving my love to someone and that love is not reciprocated or it's dismissed or it's betrayed, the concept of love, oftentimes we naturally, without consciously choosing, but subconsciously we go into, well, if that's what love is, I don't want it.
Gotcha.
Versus for me, honoring, there's a completely different feeling and essence of honoring. So that's where I think if we reframe it as, well, instead of self-love for myself, which at the base is, yes, 100% is what I want us to get to the point of.
Correct.
But if that's challenging for where you are right now in your life, perhaps reframing it as, well, where can I honor myself, my life, my body, my being, my relationships, my business? That might seem like an easier point of entry for some people.
It's almost like you have to now, as many categories as you just mentioned. It feels somewhat overwhelming to have to split and honor yourself over so many different things. It feels like it's not just one thing. Like, can't it just be one thing? And I think I struggle with that sometimes because I love everything. I love everything that I do. Just to give you a little bit of insight. So radio is the one thing that never lets me down. Like music and being able to do this and give back. Like I feel like I'm truly honoring myself.
Beautiful. And I guess we've all got something or someone, and maybe it's not someone as humans, but for me, as you were describing that, I thought of my girls, my dogs. So when I speak to about my girls, it's always dogs, just so anyone knows. When I say I've left them on the veranda safely, then you know. But for me, they've never let me down. So it doesn't matter what's going on in my life. So I'm so glad that you said that, because we've all got something, someone, of course, dogs are someone's. They're not inanimate objects. So that's how I frame that. So I love that you said that. It's beautiful.
What does dishonoring ourselves look like every day? For real examples for people who are not sure what that is.
Sure, I would love to know from our listeners and our viewers, for anyone that's tuning into the recording as well. Actually, that would be really interesting to get that kind of feedback. My point of view around what dishonoring looks like is everywhere where we're letting ourselves down, and again, it could be unconscious, but it's somewhere where we are maybe choosing someone else or something else on repeat, which means we're putting ourselves on the back seat in our lives. To me, that's a dishonouring. And dishonouring could also look like, for anyone that's single now over Valentine's Day, because of course that's what we've been talking about, or that's what you've been sharing, at least on air, is, looking at the question personally. So you've mentioned that it's overwhelming to look at all these areas in our lives, which absolutely it can be. And it's not possible to do that full every day. Unless you're ever
and it's hard, that's why I think
it's hard work.
Fallback mode is always easier.
Well, it's what you know, it's what your body's pattern is.
Exactly.
So breaking any kind of pattern is going to take you. So perhaps it's not looking at all the areas in your life, but maybe it's looking at, what is one area in my life that I may be dishonouring myself? Is it in the kitchen? For example, what we eat, what we nourish or don't nourish our bodies with? Is it in maybe a relationship, romantic or other, where we keep compromising our values, where we keep compromising our joy?
I'm happy for now, but in the meanwhile, not so much.
Or you're negating yourself, so you're always stepping back because someone else is going to be offended, so you're taking on someone else's emotions as your responsibility. That's a massive dishonour of yourself.
We can take a little music break just now. What does that whole interrupting autopilot look like in a realistic way during a sort of your average busy week?
So it's going to take, again, conscious awareness. It's going to take some effort. Everyone that's listening, it's going to take a little bit of effort. But I think the question that can unlock that, perhaps, is ask yourself the question, where am I dishonouring myself in my life? That one question will draw focus to that area.
And you start asking more questions.
Exactly.
Okay. What does that one small sort of check-in question, or tool, can you give us something that helps us go, am I honouring my life, or am I just getting by?
So perhaps check when you're gaslighting yourself. I did that yesterday. I was busy walking in the park, and I've been struggling with my body in terms of she's going through a whole lot of stuff, which is frustrating me because I feel like I don't have control over it. So I can't eat what I used to eat and train like I used to train. She's just doing her own thing now. And I was blaming it on this and then the next thing. And then while I was walking, I stopped myself. I was in the park walking with my girls, their dogs. And
what are dogs' names, by the way?
Tamlin or Tammy, and then Jolene or Jojo Pants, etc.
And what are they?
They're mixed breeds.
Mixed breeds. SPCA specials.
Well, Wet Nose in particular and Woodrock.
Okay.
I used to be part of a foster program, so I've had dogs, mostly girls from everywhere.
Your whole life.
My whole life.
Amazing. I also struggle with that sometimes when I go, and it's funny how if you really concentrate, you would take that one negative, that whole gaslighting thing as you were talking about. I dropped a bowl the other day. We were emptying the dishwasher, putting the dishes and I dropped a bowl. And of course, loud noises are not good for me, but it happens. And of course, I go into this state, I drop it and it makes such a loud noise. And I'm like, why are you so stupid? Why are you such an idiot? And then for just a second, if you just look for the bright light or the light in the distance and you go, you know what? It's okay. It's an accident. Stuff happens. And then, but it's weird how you had to go through something negative to get to the other side.
To highlight it. Well, it's where they say you can't explain to someone what the brightness of the moon looks like unless they've experienced the darkness of the night. Something like that. I think I might have just kind of made it up. Which is quite cool. I'm going to tag myself on that. But with the gaslighting,
That's great.
Yeah. Although it's probably actually quite I really remember. Anyway, I literally stopped myself and was like, please stop BSing yourself. What else am I doing in my life that is contributing to what my body is going through? So it's, as you're saying there, it's sometimes looking at what's not working in our lives that can draw the attention to what isn't working and why not. What do I need to, my favorite, start, stop and change to honor myself?
Simple. How do we keep the sort of self-love quiet and real instead of turning it into another da-da performance?
Look at me. So we're keeping busy and doing the showy stuff, as you mentioned.
The Instagram stuff.
The Instagrammable stuff is usually external validation. So how can I validate myself? So now during this self-love, or this love month, sorry, I keep saying self-love, which I know can be misconstrued as other things. We're looking for external validation. So if I'm with someone, find me with flowers. Give me the card, which is fine. It's the commercialized side, which is if you want to participate in it and it's fun for you, go for it. It's fun for both of you.
Gotcha.
But when you're perhaps, and you could be in a relationship where you're still not feeling loved, where you're still waiting for the external validation, perhaps it's looking within and saying, well, where do I feel like I need to be seen?
Yes.
So in other words, it translates as where am I not seeing myself? I need to be hugged, I need to be loved, I need to be doted on. Okay, but how can you love and dote on yourself? How can you spend quality time with yourself? So it's looking at the 5 love languages.
Yes, correct.
And internalizing them. So instead of putting this all out on someone else, which then becomes the showy
you still feel a little empty.
Completely. It's, well, let's step away from the external validation.
Do more stuff for you that make you feel like good,
Completely.
Before we wrap this up, let's land with our just one thing. It's like it's a favorite part of my show, it really is. You've been listening to this and you feel like you've been on autopilot or constantly putting yourself last. Here's the question. What is the one thing that you can do to stop this week that dishonors you? And the one tiny thing that you can start to do that honors your life a little more. Doesn't have to be big, doesn't have to be globally shifting. Could be stop answering messages after 9 p.m. Eat one less chocolate, or start eating one actual meal sitting down and not at your laptop. If you feel safe to share, 084-2212-919, or we're going to do, what is the one thing, what is like give or take, what is that one thing for you? What would you do, the tiny one change that you would do for you?
For me, it's spending more time in silence with myself, because I am so busy with multiple projects that I end up getting distracted doing so much.
Yes.
So for me, it's conscious effort to step away, spend more time on myself. So for example, even when I'm walking my girls, I'm listening to a podcast. I'm always doing something. So for me, it's to step away from doing and be more in
being present. Yes.
With me, with myself.
Okay.
So that's me. And then I've got something else as well. So something that could be fun for us is, I thought of it last night, is self-care Sundays.
Okay.
Just for the next 3 weeks.
All right.
Well, in other words, the next 3 Sundays for the month of February.
Got you.
So if anyone wants to come play along, is let's focus on one day, because as you mentioned, it's maybe too overwhelming to do every single day for now, especially if it's a new habit. So why don't we this Sunday and for the next 2 Sundays share what your self-care Sunday is going to look like. So it could be one thing that you mentioned for you, and then everyone tag us on social, respond on the YouTube video, and share your self-care.
There you go. If you want to find the video, if you want to find the re-recording, to watch it again, where can we find it?
So on my YouTube channel, and then I'll share the links also on social media, which is Reframed. It's spelled L-A-R-A-N-J-O.
Friend, thank you. As always, you make these big concepts like something we can actually try, and not just on a Wednesday, and not just like once a week, but like all the time in real life, all day, every day. If you've missed any of that and you want to hear it again, you can find Petra the Ranger on its YouTube, as well as Instagram and your website again. Hit us with our website there. petralaranger.com. If nothing else lands today, let it be this line. Self-love isn't about being obsessed with yourself. It's about honoring your life enough to not to stop living on autopilot.
Beautiful. To start consciously choosing to be.
Thank you. It's always a blessing. Like, I look forward to this time. I really, really do.
Thank you to everyone that's here with us.
Yes. So if you have questions or you have comments, we did have a couple of ridiculous comments. Thank you, guys. We will answer those privately.
Yes, some we cannot share on air because then it takes us to a PG show.
Friend, thank you for your time. Thank you for your positive energy. And we will catch up really, really soon. 100%. That's a lab.